From the Deep, a novel by Kateri Stanley, narrated by Jason Baird. Prologue. Ian Copton decides to head out on his boat, Serenity. After the fallout from today's demonstration, his job had been cut short due to a potential danger. The authorities never said anything about the amount of rubbish protesters left behind. It was a sure way to drive anyone holidaying in Drake Cove to demand their money back. But this is the world nowadays. Emotions are more important than rationality, and steel hard facts. "A load of bullshit," he whispers, dangling the rod over the edge. Ian waits for several minutes until he senses a pull before reeling in the line. Pierced by the sharp hook, the fish flaps helplessly. He clasps his hand around its head, rips the hook free, and drops it into the bucket by his foot. Ian repeats this several times until Serenity shakes, violently. Ian reluctantly resumes his fishing, hurling the line back into the water, muttering swear words under his breath. If it wasn't for his choice of career, people wouldn't be able to eat fish at all unless they fetched it from the sea themselves. The consumers didn't have to get up at the crack of dawn, heave a heavy net, and come home stinking of fish guts. There's a sudden pull on the fishing line. Ian frowns, trying to yank the rod, twisting the coil, but he can't shift it. He must have hooked a pretty big one. He uses his full weight to pull the line in, but it doesn't budge. Then Serenity shakes again. The line goes slack. Fuming, Ian peers over the side with his flashlight and sees something. His blood runs cold as his brain explodes with hectic possibilities. Before he can process some sort of strategy, it springs out from the water, seizing his fishing rod, dragging him overboard. The ice-cold water munches at his limbs and he kicks out at the figure, his palm tightening around the handle of the rod. He hears an angry squeal when the rod splits in two, then a pain erupts in his chest. Ian breathes out. Water races into his lungs like a tidal wave, suffocating him. He remembers seaweed circling his head and a pair of large, piercing eyes glaring back before the darkness finally engulfs him. Herb Clark kicks several coffee cups across the sand, mumbling about the mess. A long time with his thoughts and the fresh sea air always got his creative juices flowing. His current worry is marketing his bookshop whilst coordinating everything else. He hadn't grown up in the social media age until his niece showed him the mechanics. Now he's all over it, taking pretty decorative pictures, hoping the attractive graphics would inspire any literature-loving customers to empty their pockets. His niece mentioned something, a popular social media platform the younger generation lapped up like milkshakes, but he'd read enough scathing stories to know it wasn't for him. How would it generate sufficient interest to sell books? What could he do to stand out? Herb continues his walk until he sees a murky frame lying on the sand. He squints, trying to get a closer look, thinking it's a heap of black bin liners. Then he notices the outline of an arm and leg. "Oh my God," he utters, jogging over when he realizes it's the body of a man. It's someone he knows, too. "Ian?" Herb asks. The man's clothes have darkened from the water. His golden hair has whitened and it clings to his grey skin. Herb touches his shoulder, turning the man to find a metallic spike lodged in his chest. Ian's eyes bulge out of his head. The fishing line is lashed around his neck, penetrating his skin. The hook is embedded in his face, right down to the bone. The repulsive smell of dead flesh hits Herb's stomach. The police station's only a half-an-hour walk away, 10 if he drives, but he can't leave the body. Herb's shaky fingers jab at his phone screen, missing the correct numbers now and then as he makes the call. When someone answers on the other end, Herb has to carefully piece his words together like a puzzle.